Good evening and welcome back to Dr. Logic Awkwardly Does Logic as the night falls outside. Last time I introduced you to the notion of a Kripke model, which is where you take one of our frames with the dot and arrow diagrams and you basically decorate the worlds with valuations. So you say which atoms are true at which worlds. I want to say something about the way you can think about these models and these frames, a slightly different sort of conception. Originally, I said we weren't going to say anything about what the possible worlds actually were in kind of metaphysical terms, because we don't do metaphysics here. This is Dr. Logic Awkwardly Does Logic. However, one way that sometimes is useful to think about these worlds is that they essentially are collections of atoms, in the sense that the world is nothing more than the atoms that are true at that world. So if you like talking about, say, facts, you could think of a world as just being the collection of facts that make up that world. And these facts are indicated at the atomic level of the propositions that are true. So another way that we could have presented these models is by saying that our worlds are subsets of our set of atomic letters. And one thing that's interesting about this is that then we don't need to define the valuation, because you can just say an atom is true if it is an element of the world. So if we think of the individual worlds as sets of proposition letters, then truth is easy. You just check, you look at the list of propositions that make up this world and ask, is it true? Well, is it in the list? Then the answer is yes. Is it not in the list? Then the answer is no. So I mention this here not because it's something that you kind of need to know at this point, but because it's something that we will make use of later on down the line when we are trying to make kind of generic tools for reasoning, not so much within a logical system, but outside of a logical system. It's also kind of a helpful way of thinking about things sometimes if you do have these sort of metaphysical leanings and you want to know, like, well, what is a possible world? Well, if it makes you feel better, just identify it with the set of atoms that are true at that world. And then truth becomes easy. You just inspect the set. Membership in the set means truth. Membership outside of the set means falsity. So just a little bit of an interlude. We'll actually get into talking about the nature of truth more broadly, so not just at the atomic level, in the next video. But I wanted to put this in because it's something to think about, and thinking about things in this way might end up being easier for you. I hope so. If not, completely ignore this video and move on to the next one. See you in a bit. Cheers.